Quack! 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 Well then, hello! I am your host, Adam Chamel.
And I'm Aaron.
Oh, Aaron Troden, why are you so sad?
I'm just so sad.
Yeah,
I have to have
game.
this light to keep me happy.
Yeah, YouTube watchers, you see he's wearing a weird light in his head. It apparently makes him happy. He's already turned it off, so he's resigned himself to be depressed.
I've resigned back to the sadness.
This is the Pac-12 podcast, the most official, unofficial Oregon Ducks podcast on the web. Footosphere. In Aaron, we're in a bowl game. That's
off.
Nice. That's
Fuck
nice.
off.
So we're playing against Liberty University, which is somewhat a university. It's one of those universities that they don't allow dancing, or else you get a $50 fine. You can get expelled if you drink, whether you're staff or a student. It's one of those.
Start over. You're breaking down this school, and I already tuned out because they're just those type of people that when you bring them up, I go.
Absolutely. They're not my favorite school. I'll say that. We'll get into that. Right. But first, let's get into some news. All right. Some news. First of all, we lost the fucking Pac-12 Championship game, and it was heartbreaking.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
First and foremost.
Okay.
If a Stripes gets in the way.
Oof.
When I'm throwing a pass, guess who gets to throw a pass again? Guess who gets a do-over on the play? As soon as that happened,
it's like
I went, oh shit, this is the worst case scenario that Hythloday was talking about, where we look really fucked up in the first quarter.
We really did.
And then we're getting into the second quarter, and I'm like, okay, well, we're just a little bit behind schedule, but we're doing it mellow. And then we got ahead. And I was like, okay, this is what's supposed to be happening. The world, everything is fine again.
Yeah.
And then I went into a coma.
Yeah.
And I didn't wake up until it was time to tape this episode.
Absolutely. Well, these are my thoughts on it. These are my thoughts.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I kind of took over from extreme emotion. I wrapped up my feelings with the whole game. That was me in a nutshell.
I mean, hey, that's basically what we're doing here. I don't think any Duck fan truly wants to break down this game play by play. But we're gonna have Hythloday on later in the ep for that exact
and we will
thing.
do that for sure.
Mm-hmm. But my thoughts on it, first of all, is. Well, it's one of those things when you get blown out, like let's say when we were in a Pac-12 championship game against Utah and we just got blown out and it was not competitive and it was sure, our roster is technically more talented, but goddamn, we do not belong on the same field as these guys.
Right.
And that was the kind of same situation because it was like we lost twice and we got blown out twice by the same team. Against this Washington team, I hate to say it, but both times we played them, it was just two really good teams going against each other, and one was a little bit better.
Would you say that's actually true for this game?
Would.
Because I think
every time you lean forward, the mic can't quite pick you up as well. Just so you know. You may want to adjust.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Here's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think we didn't perform well.
I agree.
I felt like I was watching a team that was operating at 80%, and I thought it was odd the whole time.
That first half, it really was a pretty ugly first half from the Ducks, especially considering that one touchdown we got, Terrence Ferguson. The defensive pass interference that kind of got us there. It felt a little weird. Like, I would be pissed if I was a Husky fan, surely. If that happened to the Ducks, I would be like, that's a bullshit call. So it kind of felt weird, and it was a fluky, not fluky. Terrence Ferguson made an amazing catch, but that whole first half just felt, especially on offense, pretty like they were rushing to us, and Nix was a bit off, honestly. He wasn't playing his greatest game.
Dude,
Yeah.
The only question I have for Hythloday is
Mhm.
did he get into double digits with judgment calls, making the because like
Mm. You mean like did he make
just
a bunch of wrong decisions there is what you're saying?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
It seemed
mean,
like he was choosing wrong a lot.
I definitely felt like there was a few passes that were a little off, a little like not it felt like he was a little uncomfortable. But again, I hate to say this, but I got to give Washington at least a little bit of credit. Their defense
Was
was
strong.
tuned in
Dude.
from the first quarter.
Dude, they were tuned the fuck in.
They really were. They really were.
Like that's why it was so hard. Is it still okay if I do that? Because I did it
Now
again.
it's better. Now it's a little better.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah, it's just so hard because Washington was so good. Like you could see them really playing to fucking win this game.
Yeah.
And I'm watching us seeming like we're really trying to win, but for whatever reason, you know what I mean? It just, I don't know. I was just like, what is happening right now?
It was a sluggish start. And then like in the last time we played Washington, like any football game is like this, but really when you got two teams that are pretty even, those little those drives, those like one random 3 and out, one decision to go for on fourth where you don't convert, one time where you settle for a field goal instead of a
those
touchdown.
Are the what add up and win.
Those what add up, man. Yeah, like we had control. When Nix threw that very uncharacteristic pick right after we got the interception off Michael Penix.
Yes,
and it was just the guy was off the field. He runs back in like. That's the third interception he's thrown. One of them truly wasn't his fault. You're just like, sometimes you just gotta. This was the year we were destined to lose to the 12-0, 13-0 Huskies.
Brother,
but goddamn. By 3 points.
I have to say, I feel like I need to go back and find whatever episode it was because this is literally what that TikTok dude predicted. Everything I said about the Huskies in that early episode about how there's this one dude on TikTok and he's like, they've got everything to do the whole thing. And I'm like, fuck out of here.
I'd rather you not shout him out.
No, I won't. But remember, that's why I was like, that's why I was beginning the season with like, I like both teams.
Yeah, I hate it.
But now I'm like, oh no, the rivalry is real and I am an enemy country.
That's how you
Point of fact. I just want to point out, I already shared this with you in a text, but I think it's important for our listeners to know. This is what I have to live inside of. This is the volatile world in which I live in. I was checking out groceries. Seahawks were playing. It was a Sunday. Dude's wearing, the cashier's wearing all the Seahawks stuff, brings up the game. And I forget how he brought it up. We'll look at the text really fast.
It was the Niners or something like that. Weren't the
yeah. For whatever reason, he brought up enemy teams. Oh, because we were playing the Cowboys.
Oh, Cowboys.
It's because it was Seahawks Cowboys. And he goes, yeah, the Cowboys are just like that team, that you're just supposed to hate. They're like the bad guys, There's like 49ers, Oregon. I was like, this dick. Because the Huskies were because the Huskies were yet to play the game.
I am also baffled by and you've said that you were the first person to ever say this to me.
Yeah.
And it's grown more and more in my mind where it's just like, I guess we are the baddies.
Look at the narrative. Look at the narrative of that game. We were set up to.
We were favorite. We were 10.
We were favorites to win by. What did Vegas have? 10 points or whatever?
9 points. Yeah, 9.5, 10.
And the underdog wins by 3 points in what is an absolute all-out effort.
Yeah, it really took
like
a lot.
Does that sounds like we're the bad guys.
I know. I don't know.
That doesn't mean we're evil because here's the fact. What Western culture likes to do, Adam, is teach people that evil is not believing in like really hardcore right-wing conservative Christianity bullshit.
Okay, so this is a good transition.
Yeah. So let's talk about liberty.
Now this is okay. Here we're walking some fine lines, all right?
Yes,
a
we
lot
are.
of a lot of podcasts go like you don't talk about religion and you don't talk about politics if you're talking about football. A lot of
Right.
podcasts aren't the
Well,
goddamn
football is
Pac-12.
religion, so
Yeah, so there's that. So
yeah.
check your Bible for that, huh? Oregon Ducks are the true number one religion. We're trying to convert everyone to that.
Yep.
Now, the Pac-12 podcast is a little bit different. We take some things very not seriously, some things very seriously.
Yeah.
We're what some, I mean, I would say we're, if you didn't guess, we're left leaning, but none of that, all that out the window. Okay. I don't care what religion you are, power to you. This is America. God damn it. You can do whatever religion you want. That being said, some religions, I bet you can agree with this, everyone listening there. Just think of a religion that's not yours. Some religions go to the point where they are aggressive towards other people for absolutely no other reason besides jingoism, racism.
Because religions are different.
Yeah, because religions are different, all right? And I'm not saying all of Christianity, far from it. That'd be a stupid thing to say. So that's what I got to say.
I mean, I would argue that the concept of religion was actually to help divide us.
Well, there you go. There's that.
Unless it's like Taoism or something, or Buddhism, where it's just all about inner peace.
Well,
which is more of just like principles for life.
We're going to talk about something else here, okay?
Okay.
Religion, whatever. You can be whatever you want. And I've said this before. If your religious team beats our team, I will convert to your religion because that proves that
you'd get baptized.
Right. I've said that on the podcast multiple times. I believe I'm whatever Baylor is because that's the last team that beat us.
Oh,
now
they are Lutheran.
I'm a Lutheran, proud Lutheran,
I believe.
Aaron, we're not talking about any religion, okay? Let's take that completely out of it. Let's talk about Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. A more racist sounding name than it actually is. I double checked that. I mean, not a great name, but Liberty University started in, I believe, about 1971 by a televangelist named Jerry Falwell.
Oh, fuck.
That's right. Now,
what?
If you're the kind of person...
This is a whole other situation indeed, sir. We're playing the righteous gemstones? This
is what the line I'm trying. No, yes, we are. This is the line I'm trying not to draw here. Okay, so if you are a person where if you're listening to a podcast and you hear someone talking shit about Jerry Falwell, and you're like, they are crossing the line. This is too far. Then bye-bye.
Yeah. Skip next app.
You got to call a charlatan out for free to charlatan, all right?
Yeah.
This dude started Liberty University. If you don't know Jerry Falwell,
that's a tax write-off like a motherfucker, dude.
He has
kudos.
Very right. I mean, and he has very troubling. This is what I'll say: troubling stances on many things. You know, back in the day with Martin Luther King, he wasn't a very big fan of Martin Luther King. That's a good Band-Aid to rip off right there. He's very, 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 very against anyone that's gay. In fact, right after 9/11, he said that's why 9/11 happened to America, because gays and abortion. That's not a very good stance, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm stick by that.
I would like to see the research. I would like to fact check.
His research?
Yeah.
His research was...
It's an interesting claim. So I would like to see...
I don't like gay people. How can I tie this into 9/11? That was the amount of research he did. Yep. Now, so that's not good.
By the way, abortion.
and abortion too, yeah.
Yeah, golly.
So, okay, I hope I did whatever. If half our listeners left, good. It was the bad half. So
yeah,
he has some pretty extreme views, is what I would say. His son... So, and he ran the university for many years. The university's basically made in his image. He is the Brigham Young, what Brigham Young is to BYU. He is that to Liberty University. Right,
because as every good Christian knows, the thing that you should strive to do is be the thing that is actually worshipped.
Exactly. Yeah, you should be the idol that they worship.
Yeah.
So okay, there's Jerry Falwell. There's some talk about him. I don't like the guy very much. He started in university. All right, that's fine. And then so this is a university where literally it's kind of like footloose. You're not allowed to dance at the university.
What?
Certainly
They're
not
gonna hate
allowed
the third quarter.
Oh. Oh my god. I think they'll move. I think they'll be dancing a little bit and just hoping the camera doesn't go over to them. This is also, you're obviously not allowed to like drink whatsoever on campus. No drinking from any of the students, any of the faculty. Also there, obviously no premarital sex can get you kicked off campus. Gay sex, obviously. I mean, gay relations of any sort would get you banned and ridiculed. No matter what they freaking say, I know that's the goddamn truth. And so they are a very religious university. They have a 99% acceptance rate and a 25% graduation rate, which I really loved that.
That's
very,
insane.
very wealthy as well. They're very wealthy because they're a bastion of MAGA thought and stuff like that. They're very pro, as right wing as you can get.
Well,
now,
but that university is a fucking financial funneling system for the church to clean that money to put into his pockets to be a piece of shit.
See, so these are our thoughts, all right? On this specific university, not your religion, not on Christianity.
All thoughts are my own.
I think we all know that there are certain Christians out there that are hypocritical to what the teaching of Jesus would be, and instead like to use that power to get a bunch of money. We can all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
At least a few. Now, this made me laugh, so I'm just going to pepper this in there. Another little scandal that was very well known, and it's just very wonderful. It's that kind of thing where it's like, I don't got a problem with any of this, but when you're the guy that's like, don't do this, and then you do it, I think it's funny. So Jerry Falwell Jr. ends up running the school, right? Because he's a Nepo baby. He's the president, blah, blah, blah. Again, this is a place where for premarital sex, you can get fired.
Please tell me he has a boyfriend. Please tell me he has a boyfriend, and they were caught in explicit lovemaking.
So his wife and a pool boy. I forget the pool boy's name.
This whole thing, right? I forgot about this. That's right.
So there was
That's amazing.
There was it sounded like at first it was a consensual cuckolding situation. Yes, this is still a football podcast, I promise you.
Yeah.
There was a consensual cuckolding situation between the three, which is fine. I don't care. That's great. It's shitty when you're teaching people, if you do anything like this, you'll go to hell and get kicked out of our college, and then you do it. That's bad, I think.
That's called being a hypocrite.
Yes, I agree. And not only that, but I mean, they have a documentary on it, and the pool boy, I forget his name, but the pool boy said and then eventually, after a while, after a relationship kept going, they definitely used their power in the community and their money and stuff to basically kind of force me into this relationship and force me to blackmail me in many ways. So that's not cool either. He got fired probably just for having, kinky, whatever kind of sex they're having or whatever. So he got fired for that, not being a hypocrite, just doing that. And now they got a new president. So that's basically the school. Not only that, another little tidbit is of hypocrisy that the institution has. I'm not even talking about the students. I don't even care about the students. The institution, okay?
Sure.
Another little hypocrisy part about it is they hired goddamn Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze, who has been shown to very much not follow the strict Christian lifestyle. Is that good enough to say?
Yeah.
He's had many
he's a coach? Who is he?
He's now the coach of Auburn. Before he had to resign from Ole Miss because he had a couple of
situations,
scandals. Basically, he used his work phone to hire escorts.
I've heard about this.
Once again, we don't care if you hire an escort. That's perfectly fine as long as they're of age, as long as it's consensual. I don't give a fuck. But
don't use your work phone, idiot.
Don't use your work phone, you moron.
Yeah.
Not only that, then this hyper religious university, once there's a football advantage, they're like, yes, absolutely. He has said Hail Mary or whatever. He has been forgiven of all sins, blah, blah, blah. It's just the hypocrisy I don't like. So yes, I've been talking crap about liberty on Twitter, which I know is a cesspool in its of itself. And I know that's brought on about 100 comments of me being called what you think I would be, snowflake and such. But y'all, this is the Quack 12. My name's Adam Shamail.
I'm Aaron Schroeder.
You're Aaron Schroeder. This is us, all right? We're gonna be making fun of this university. We just can't not make fun of this university for their bad academics, for their backwards ideals, all these things.
I think you make a great point. It's not about the citizenry that, for whatever reason, is chosen to go to this school.
Well, because they'd get accepted, 99% acceptance rate.
Right, but I mean, they're guaranteed to not graduate, and why is that?
Like a Hunger Games situation to try to graduate.
Like, my question is, why are only 25% of the student body leaving? Where are the rest going? Are they feeding God?
I guess.
Do they have a... Oh, no.
What do you think?
I almost went so dark.
Well, let's keep that to yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
So this is who we're playing. I hope we beat the crap out of them, honestly. They've played nobody. They have the weakest schedule, just about the weakest schedule, in all of college football. And I got some news. I got a lot of news for you, if that's all right.
Okay. Can I tell you one little quick thing about my thinking on this game?
Absolutely.
I don't know that I give a shit enough to watch it. Like, I don't like the institution that team represents. So that's like disgusting. If I was Lanning, I'd be like, nah, we're good. I don't want to play them. If not to say that I believe Lanning should have made that choice. I'm saying if Aaron Schroeder was the head coach of the Oregon Ducks, I would literally go, nah, we're good on this one. We'll take an even lower bowl if that's what it means.
Well, apparently a lower bowl would get us a better opponent for some reason.
Dude,
because
and
you look at the other team, like Oregon State, who is lower than us, is playing Notre Dame. It's like, hey, I'd play Notre Dame. They're religious, and I don't got a problem with them.
Okay, update me on this, because this is where I get confused. Are the Huskies going to the playoffs?
Yes, absolutely they are.
So who's going to the Rose Bowl?
I forget. I don't think the Huskies are playing. I think it's really annoying. I think it's Michigan, Alabama. That's why the Rose Bowl
isn't that like where we're supposed to be going? Isn't that where we deserve to go?
They made the
Fiesta Bowl is a trash bowl.
I agree. Everything you're saying is true, Aaron, but
I'm just confused of why they're like, I don't get it. I don't get it either. I'm like, why did y'all pick all this? But okay.
Aaron, there is only truly one answer.
Okay.
Money.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Nailed it on the head.
And they killed this beautiful thing we once called the Rose Bowl.
It doesn't exist?
No, it exists. It's just, I think it's like 2 out of every 3 years. It's part of the playoff. So they call one of the playoff games the Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl.
And it happens at the Rose Bowl.
It's, you know what?
It should be Big Ten versus Pac-12. But
it's
Pac-12
the same thing.
So.
It really is. When it all comes down to it, the thing that greedy people desire the most is money. And they will open up universities to get it. They will pay off referees to get it, Huskies. They will...
Wouldn't it have been awesome if that ref that it hit him in the gut, if like just to show fully how in the bag they were for Washington, if he caught that ball and ran it in for a score and they counted it for the Huskies? Yeah. Anyways, Aaron, I got little time. I got a lot to talk about.
Okay, hit me.
So first of all, Bo Nix, going against common wisdom, but goddamn do I respect the dude. Hey, Bo Nix, he's conservative, he's Christian. Love the dude. You know why? Because he's not an asshole. Now, Bo Nix has decided to play in the bowl game.
I was going to ask that too.
He doesn't have to. He truly doesn't have to.
Right. If Aaron Schroeder, had the season that Bo Nix had and was the quarterback, I'd go, you know what? I think I'm good. I'm going to sit this one out.
Yeah. Well, because what if, I mean, really, if you break your leg, you were about to go to the NFL, you've
and
lost
you're married,
millions.
and you know you're going to be that family man guy.
Yeah, and you're looking for the future. Like, he's actually doing a brave thing. I mean, honestly, every week playing football at that level is actually, like, we don't talk about it enough, brave.
I was watching a clip of some guy from his college years. I think he's just now started in the NFL. I don't remember who it was. It doesn't matter, but he's like a secondary player.
Yeah.
And just
it wasn't for the Bengals, was it? Oh, no, continue. Sorry.
He obliterates opponents.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just destroys. The hits are so hard that I'm like, A, that's uncalled for, but B,
it's called for.
This is a violent ass sport where at any moment that guy could be the one hitting you.
Yeah, that guy's helmet could go into your knee. Like,
yes.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty freaking cool, Bo Nix, and shows a lot of respect and makes me even happier that it will lead us to hopefully what better be a blowout victory over Liberty.
So, well, let's
Aaron,
talk about
I've got
it.
too much time. We can't get into
it. Let's keep it going.
Because really, the
wheels are up. We've took off. We're flying. We're at altitude.
We're jet
Shut up and
mode.
watch your movie, Aaron.
Well, watch this.
Quacksball. Quacksball. Quacksball.
Aaron, so Quacksball, I'm gonna rip off some band-aids here because we're running short on time before we get to Hythloday. Women's basketball is struggling.
Yeah.
They lost their last 2 games. Now, the most recent game was against number 13 Baylor, who's always been a good women's basketball team. I mean, I'm a Lutheran, so I've got a soft spot for them. Number 13 Baylor.
I actually think they're General Baptist. I looked it up really quick. There's some kind of Baptist.
I'm a General Baptist. I always have been.
Yeah, whatever. Now, there's something.
Just a general one. So they beat us by 20 points. And again, this is a good team, and Oregon is, rebuilding or whatever the freak they're doing. So that kind of made sense. It was rough. It was actually kind of competitive, except for the fact that Oregon just wasn't getting the turnovers. They got destroyed. I mean, sorry, they had a bunch of turnovers. They committed way too much turnovers. And then rebounds, 44-28, we got out rebounded. That was basically the story of the game. Filipina Che, 15 points, 12 rebounds. Chance Gray got 10 points. Van Sluten got 14. Other than that, no more double-digit scorers. The bench basically didn't really do anything. And from the three-point land, 1 of 8. From the floor, 19 of 49, which equals 38%. We did good on free throws, I guess. We held them to low shooting percentages, but it just kind of doesn't matter if we're not going to get the rebounds and we can't hit the broadside of a barn. What's more concerning for this team, much more concerning for this team, was the game before this one. Aaron, we lost to the University of Portland.
Oh, I had that game on DVR and I almost put it on. I'm glad I didn't.
The University of Portland, a team in the West Coast Conference, which is much lower than ours.
Yeah.
They are 4-4 currently, so it's not like this is the team that, to beat all teams on their level. It's not like, this is our greatest team ever. This is a pretty all right Portland team. We lost 91-60. Goddamn. 91-60. And this is a regular thing that happens. On that team was Lucy Cochran. She didn't have the greatest game, but she did score 10 points, 9 rebounds. She used to be on our team. So that's fun. I love when that happens. We shot.
Oh, shit.
What's that?
Oh, I don't know if we have time to talk about it or anything, but just
We'll get into it.
Okay.
We'll get into it. I know what you mean.
Sparked my remembering something.
Oh, I get it.
Go ahead.
35% from the floor, 29% from 3, 5 of 9 from the free throw line. But that doesn't really cut it because in the first half, we scored 18 points. And then the shooting percentages went higher after that. Because in the first, The first half, we shot, I got to do some quick math here, 6 of 36. We hit 6 shots in the first half. Bro, things are going wrong. Because of one injury, seemingly the whole team is just gone so. And it's one injury to a player who hadn't even played, like she wasn't like crucial to the Oregon chemistry. She was about to start her first season for the Ducks. Got injured in the first game. So up next are the Idaho Vandals in Eugene, Oregon, and Portland State University in Eugene, Oregon, and then Southern University in Eugene, Oregon. 3 home games. All those teams we should blow out, but unfortunately in this current state, you can't truly count specifically on us beating anyone. Certainly if they're good or average.
I think the proof is in the pudding that the locker room is literally toxic.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not this season. Like maybe they all love Kelly Graves and stuff, but it's clearly been not great in the past to lose all the talent that would be playing and starting right now.
Right.
That being said, I want to hop over to some good news that makes me feel actually excited. Men's basketball, which is going to be a weird transition into the next topic, but men's basketball.
Oh shit!
Santa Clara. I mean,
maybe we should talk about the other shit and then talk about why maybe
really quickly. I just want to. The Pac-12 fully supports a lawsuit going on right now.
Yeah.
Now, this is the lawsuit, I believe, basically spearheaded by, I want to say, the beach volleyball team, though I believe not the whole team, but members of it and other members of other women's sports are suing Oregon.
25 in total, I believe, or 30.
Yeah.
Like that.
Basically, because there is an unfair advantage, to being a man playing at Oregon over a woman. And they're not getting the stuff that they deserve, quite frankly, that they were promised. There's a lot of, this obviously is a lot of Title IX stuff we're talking about here. And like for the beach volleyball team, they don't have any facilities. They have to play in a park. They have to drive themselves a lot of things. They don't have any medical stuff on site. They don't have any bleachers at said park where they're practicing. The bathrooms don't have doors. It is a public bathroom. I don't know if you've been in Eugene, but some of our parks are in pretty rough shape.
Park bathrooms are in rough shape across the country because fucking federal government doesn't care about that type of shit anymore. Anyway, I digress.
Absolutely. There's a million reasons. Reasons. And we can go deeper and deeper into this, but we just want to throw our full support. God, if you can have all this money for NIL for the men.
Yeah.
All this money for their facilities. I love them, obviously, because it's an advantage, but you are fucking liar if you don't say you got some coins in the coffer.
Right.
For these teams.
Right. It is a evil owner that keeps his hungry bulldog on a short chain.
Wow. That was very deep.
Yeah.
So we're fully supporting them. We'll keep an eye on how that lawsuit is going. It seems like Oregon is pretty open to it. It feels like they're more like, yeah, we know we've been fucking up. Sorry, we're gonna work on this. So it's probably gonna. I'm not even going to say it's in this world. You can't assume things are going to get better per se.
I'm assuming they will do like the bleacher things. They'll probably set aside some volleyball time in the secondary basketball courts.
Yeah. You just got to hope that they at least give them a place to practice. Like, goddamn. Anyways, Aaron, I want to circle back really quickly before we bring on Hythloday.
Just give them some gas money, for Christ's sakes.
I'll give them some gas. Yeah, give them a bus. What are we doing here? Men's basketball.
The ones who are getting all the money, and look what it does.
Yeah, exactly.
Look what happens when you give a team money.
Well, sometimes they go to the NIL, but in the Emerald Coast Classic was the last thing we talked about.
That's right.
That's when we found out right before the game, our 2 bigs are out, and it really did screw things up. That being said, we lost only 6 points to Santa Clara, which ain't a bad team. And we lost to 8 points to Alabama, which is actually a ranked pretty good team. So that was good to see. Then up next was mediocre to good, I would say. Like they're not great, but they are a powerhouse program. They do recruit well. They have one player who was fucking fantastic. We played Michigan in Eugene. The crowd was actually pretty good. They had some really good deals to get people at the game. So that was nice. We did have a good home court advantage. And it was a thrilling game. It was truly a thrilling game. Our two bigs are still out. They'll be out for at least a month. But some good news was Jackson Shelstad, from West Lynn, Peyton Pritchard is this dude's idol. Grew up, same high school, same city. And it's just, he wants to be Peyton Pritchard. That is one of the reasons why he is at Oregon. He came in, had a great game, as did a fantastic, there's something about seeing a white guy ferociously dunk that it just gets everybody excited. Maybe that's racist, I don't know. But Brennan Rigsby has been a fantastic player to watch. Like, really good, like, to the hoop skills. He's been hitting the three really well. He was 3 of 3 against Michigan. He was actually the point scoring leader, 19 points.
Oh, wow.
So when you're talking about, and Jermaine Couisnard, who, he had a great season last year. He's like a bulkier point guard, these three did a great job of leading this team. We're a small ball team for the near future. And 19 points from Rigsby, 14 points from Shelstad, 13 points from Jermaine Couisnard. We even had a Cario Oquendo, who's kind of playing as our center right now. He scored 13 points. We had a walk-on play some good minutes because we had to, because he's a bigger guy. Kwame Evans Jr., he's our one true talented big right now. He scored 9 points, got 2 rebounds, not great, but and from free throw we shot 8 of 12, which is for this team good, because we suck at that. We battled Michigan, led most of the game. They rallied back because they have an amazing player named Doug McDaniel. He scored 33 points in this game. He just went off. He was on fire. Hit 7 3-pointers in this game.
Good God.
It got to overtime. Oh yeah, dude, it was.
Oh my Lord,
it was amazing. Like it was just kind of like, well, nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, well, that guy exists.
Went to overtime, and who else but the man who's trying to fill Peyton Pritchard's shoes? Our freshman who, like, we're putting a whole lot of, and who just got healthy, we're putting a lot of on his back, hits the game-winning 3-pointer, dude.
Wow.
It was awesome. Crowd erupted. Also, word is Mookie Cook, another freshman who's he played LeBron. He played LeBron in that, show. He is finally starting to practice. He's dressing up. So we're getting another freshman in. I'm not even saying we're about to go on a huge win streak, even though the schedule does actually set up for it pretty well. We're going against UTEP, California Baptist, Syracuse. Hey, Syracuse pretty good. Kent State.
UTEP represent, brother. That's where my sister went to school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know you'll be rooting for them, but we should have an advantage in these games. Things are actually lining up pretty well where I'm like, I like this team. Even if we lose, they're giving it their all. They're really beat up, but they're looking good, man. I like them. I really do. I like watching Oregon men's basketball, and I pray Oregon women's basketball becomes watchable. Because right now it's fucking
deep
brutal.
Cut. Ow.
Dude, I'm sorry. I love women's. You know me, dude, but it is just that team's got no chemistry. Can I pepper in some last minute quack news?
Yeah.
Before we get okay.
Oh dear God, please go.
Well, first of all, we will not be playing Texas Tech next season. Instead, we will be playing in week 3 the Oregon State Beavers. That does actually
really,
yeah. The rivalry is continuing. Which honestly, if you give me Oregon, UCLA, USC, and Oregon State and Washington, that does make me feel pretty comfortable. Like almost like it's like I'm in a little zoo environment. Like I'm not out. But
why do we need to be? I say fuck them all.
I mean, hey, I get what you mean. Some people
Start
feel
our
that
own
way.
damn league and we play everybody in America. Show you who's the bad guy.
I mean, I like that. I love that. Bo Nix named Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year.
Who got Heisman? Who's Heisman?
We're still waiting on the Heisman, but Bo Nix is one of the finalists, which is pretty freaking cool. Bo Nix, Michael Penix, the receiver from Ohio State that I always forget his name. He is very good, but shouldn't win. And Jaden Daniels, the quarterback from LSU. It's probably not going to be Nix, but it could be.
They're going to pin everything on that last game. They're going to, that's what I feel like. I feel like they're going to look at the first quarter and be like, well, obviously we can't give it to this guy.
Well, it's a quarterback's award. And so you get rid of the receiver. So it comes down to this. It's like, do you give it to the person? This is why I think Bo Nix is going to.
Dude, no, I bet it's going to go to the receiver this year.
I mean, that'd be strange, but I don't think so. But
okay,
that'd be kind of interesting. But this is the thing.
Okay.
So let's say it's one of the three quarterbacks. Do you go with who has the biggest season, accomplished the most in the season, which is typically what they do, or do you go with who has the best stats? If you're going with just the best stats with no kind of caveat, like who they played or anything, Jaden Daniels is going to win. If you go with who had the best resume, who accomplished the most, Michael Penix is going to win because Bo Nix lost to Washington twice. Penix beat Oregon twice, is undefeated, 13-0. I think it'll go to Penix, and I'm not even going to hate it, except for the fact that he's a Washington Husky.
And they're 12-0.
13-0.
13-0. That one doesn't count.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Everyone knows that game was paid for. Okay, it was in Vegas.
Yep.
Everyone made a little bit of cheddar. Adam got some. I got some.
It's true. I knew it was going to happen, but
yeah,
I could have changed it. That being said,
was fixed.
Time for us to make some cheddar.
Yeah, baby.
Time for us to go to commercial.
All right.
Bye. See you soon.
Quack, quack.
Quack. Well, Aaron, hate to say it, but the time machine is broken.
I mean, this whole thing was running off the power of your cell phone. And obviously, when we hit 1894, there's no longer cell service or Wi-Fi connection. So,
not gonna lie, I did not think this through.
God almighty, Adam, what are we supposed to do now?
I mean, we're in Eugene, Oregon in 1894. We could check out the very first Duck game. Maybe it's a good thing.
No, it's not good. Look, we've already been here for about 5 days, and the very first thing I learned living in Eugene, Oregon, is that shows have been banned that are quote-unquote unchaste and demoralizing. And that's kind of the only kind of content we know how to make, dude.
We could review every Duck season as it happens.
Even the children here are freaky.
Then post it on the Pac-12 Patreon in the future.
I mean, it's just really hard to not spoil, tragic national events.
Imagine it, a weekly show dedicated to Oregon football history with two charismatic time-traveling stoner hosts.
We live in the most expensive house in Eugene, and it's a fucking shack.
And the most beautiful thing about it? We can charge them a measly $5 in the future. And when we get it in the past, we'll be freaking millionaires comparatively. And I'm talking robber baron status, baby.
Adam, I make bugs fight in a shoebox just to simulate television.
All listeners would have to do is go to patreon.com/quack12 and sign up for hundreds of hours of Duck entertainment.
But the hooch is good. In fact, it's kind of got me wanting to try my own hand at it.
That's right. For a measly $5 a month, that's patreon.com/quack12. Now let's go watch them lemon yellows give those hay seeds what for.
And keep your eye out for Dr. Schroeder's blueberry wine.
And we are back on Quack.
Quack, quack.
Aaron, during full reveal, well, first of all, pull back the curtain. Hythloday's not coming on the show, all right?
We lied. We tricked you all, you fools.
For all you people that only listen to Hythloday, he's not on. We just wanted you to get to the second half.
Well,
And
I mean, I get it.
We already got your click, so we don't even give. We don't
Right.
give
We got you in the first 5 minutes
about you leaving. So get out of here.
Yeah.
That being said, we were talking about Camden Lewis during the.
Oh God.
Aaron
you are
hates
going to
him for
bring it
some
up.
reason.
Okay.
He's the most points. He scored the most points as an Oregon Duck. And
Amazing.
He didn't miss a single thing during that Pac-12 championship game.
No, he did not.
On him. I even texted you in the first half.
You sure did.
I said Camden Lewis is the only one not fucking up.
Yeah.
Right now. So would you like to? This may get us one or two listeners back on the bandwagon, back on the quack wagon. Do you want to apologize publicly for what you said about Camden Lewis?
Yeah, I do. I think sometimes I get carried away with the joy of being an idiot in sports.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad drug for me. So I'll take something that I could talk coherently and cordially and casually about, but I just want to amplify it because I don't know why. So in that aspect, I'm probably wrong, but I do also, I still have to say that I don't think he was our best kicker or whatever.
I mean, he wasn't great.
I don't want to be mean. I'm not. I don't. Okay, look. I am. Okay, what I should apologize for is I was probably being mean. If he heard the podcast, I would be ashamed and embarrassed because I'd be like, you know what, dude? I don't actually mean this shit because I don't even actually know you, and I understand that. So I feel like what happens is I will accidentally conflate the satirical world in which I believe I get to live inside of with the reality that is everyone else's actual waking life. You know what I mean?
You mean like a Liberty student? Ayo! Yeah. Anyways, 34-31, we lost this game. It was absolutely heartbreaking. I think what made it heartbreaking is because you were watching it and you're like, we're better than this. God damn it.
Yeah, the whole time.
That being said, I'll give you something that you were I'll say your words definitely rang through my head.
Oh shit.
While I was watching this.
Uh-huh.
Just like Aaron famously predicted all 12 season over-unders, 12 of 12.
That's right.
For this season. Did. Earlier in the season, I remember laughing at Aaron when he was like, I just think we would be better if Jordan James was out there as our first running back, as opposed to Bucky Irving. Now, this was like mid-season, so I'm still not going to give you 100%. I'm not going to give you an A+ on that answer.
Sure.
But I will say, when I was watching this game, I don't know if this rang true to you, but I kind of felt like Bucky Irving. I mean, clearly his production was not there, and Washington was honing in on the run, but clearly, I don't think he was playing 100%. He didn't have that burst, that strength that he usually has.
Well,
and
didn't we have?
Part of that was Washington swarming to him, getting to him quickly, not giving him those lanes. But there were times where there were lanes open. There were times where he would get an extra yard or two. And he wasn't quite getting it. Yeah.
Think about how many times he was getting tripped or grabbed whenever he was breaking the line just a week before. I mean, that dude's ankles must be in a state that I don't even want to think about with.
Yeah.
I'm sure I think they're banged up they busted ass for their coach. And I think they're just like, those fucking dudes, they're just like war torn. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it, man. And
I don't know.
And I think the whole team, I mean, we had key injuries that were like just about the worst thing that could happen against this specific team. Like there were basically all 11 all 10 other teams 11 other teams that we played this season. I think these injuries could have happened, and a lot of times they did. And we would have still had enough answers where it wouldn't have really been a giant detriment to the game. But definitely Birch going down, our edge rusher, really early in the game, Like that's the pressure we needed. He's a pretty damn good edge rusher. That certainly would have helped. Jaleel Florence not playing any in this game as a defensive back against a team that is constantly just throwing deep 50-50 balls. That's huge. And he got injured in the first Washington game too, right? Like in that collision.
Right.
Where you saw Kyrie Jackson injured and Jaleel Florence injured at the same time. That was bonkers. So Jaleel Florence wasn't out there. I believe we had some more. I mean, Troy Franklin took that big hit. He was pretty banged up there.
Yes.
Terrence Ferguson's been playing through injuries. Like I said, I'm a little curious if Bucky Irving was playing through something or something like that.
Yeah.
But Jordan James, whether it was just because it was the second half, maybe Washington was a little worn down. Jordan James certainly had a lot more like energy to him. Bucky Irving finished this game 9 carries, 20 yards. Jordan James 5 carries, 35 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to just put all of this on. Well, we were hurt and the refs were against us. Even though the refs were against us, they should all burn in hell. But Washington they outplayed us. They really did. Especially like if you take every quarter, you got to win all the quarters.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we lost those first two bad. This is a 3-point game. Like, just like the last one, it's like any little thing could have changed this into a win for Oregon, except God does not want that to happen, apparently, because we're the bad guys.
Right.
Does that mean Washington's the good? Are you telling me Washington's the good guy?
In this, no, it's not that Washington is just fulfilling a role. You know what I mean? It's, I have sometimes a hard time believing truly that any really nationally televised sport isn't in some way tinkered with. So I think we've just been set up as like, oh, who could work really well?
We are the heel. For some reason, we're the heel.
Yeah, we're the heel.
I think.
So anyway,
that's
where we get to go for a little bit. I don't know why.
I don't
Nike
think
maybe.
Yeah, I think that all comes down to that. I don't think we were the heel, like even around the great 94 season or something like that. Because we were still pretty like bad for decades before. You know what I mean? And
I mean, if
this is before the Nike money, like how were we bad then? Well, I think it's the Nike money once that came in and the child labor. Let's get real.
I mean, it does also kind of look like you have like a very angry duck right behind you that's about to grab you from behind.
He does look furious. And I'm literally holding my Phil Knight bobblehead right now, and he is shaking his head. Yes. I do think because it's like you see this vitriol with other fan bases in the Pac-12. Like when something bad happens to Utah, some people talk shit about it, but it's not like a bunch of people, If something bad happens against Washington, Oregon, and Wazoo fans, sure, they're ready to jump all over that. But usually the other fan base is not so much. Colorado, no one cares. Arizona, most people, like even USC, like, they get the University of Spoiled Children. They got banned for cheating. Like they should be the school you think of as like, it's kind of like Oregon stole all of the USC hatred. We used to all unite and be like, USC has such an unfair advantage because they're a wealthy school. They're in LA. They have a big famous history. They're just going to always be the best and it's unfair and they cheat. They're the worst. It got to us, even though like, as far as cheating is concerned, that's really not even part of our reputation. There's a lot of like we buy players, which was a lot worse before the NIL, But I feel like Oregon, like when something bad happens to Oregon, all the rest of the Pac-12 is ready to body slam us.
Well, dude, yeah. I mean, I think it really just comes down to the fact that there's just an extra kind of money that gets to come in to the school, and it is probably it could be considered an unfair advantage to a certain degree. I honestly don't know.
I'll tell you this. It is, but it's not even against the rules. Nowadays, it's like fully encouraged. It's like, if you want to be the top, this is the shit you got to do, including Oregon throwing around its money being like, oh, Oregon, or, let's say Wazoo has some good coordinators. Let's steal this coordinator. Oh, Oregon State's got a really good running back. We'll take their best, literally shopping around for whenever one of these teams has a good player or a good coach. We're like, let's go buy that.
Right.
That would make me furious.
Right.
Well, that's the game of college.
So, there it is. I mean, you've just hit it in a nutshell. Yeah. The unfortunate part is that we have the luxury to make decisions that don't really put the greater good into context because we want to win.
Oregon State right now, they're furious at us because I see a lot of accusations of like Oregon and Washington killed the Pac-12. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it was dying and then we got on the lifeboat. Like how are we killing the Pac-12 more than USC or UCLA?
Right.
That doesn't make much sense.
Did you see the video of all of the mascots together on
That was sad.
That was sad. Yeah. I thought it was beautiful at the same time, though. It was like, that's actually, it's kind of rad. I thought it was like, damn, they're all getting the party.
I'll tell you where this great team that we have this season, and we really did have a great team. You watched it. Like, they really are great. They had the Washington blunders, but both those games were only losses by 3 freaking points. So this team's pretty great. One thing that I think, because if we're just trying to get better and better and better, it's clear our secondary and honestly a few more great pass rushers. That's going to do us. That's really our weaknesses right now. Like, because we even in this crazy game, right, against Washington, there was still that late touchdown pass to Trayshawn Holden, who I pray comes back because Trayshawn Holden is a great wide receiver. The only reason why we haven't seen more of him is because we have other great wide receivers, but he got that last second touchdown, right? That like 60-yard, just boom, 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 boom. And suddenly it was 1-score game. We have timeouts. Washington has the ball and they're only up by 3. Like, suddenly it was a possibility for a comeback, right? Like, actually,
I mean, it seemed like that was
pretty decent.
Natural. Like I said, I was like, no, this is actually the natural progression. We will now go up by 10. We'll then make it 13. Yeah. It'll be very comfortable. This won't be an issue.
Well, no, this was, I'm talking about like within the last minute and 40 when Washington went up by 10. And then we scored a touchdown in under, what was it? Like 15 seconds, something like that. So that was still a game. We were down by 3. We had, I believe, all of our timeouts. And they had the ball. Like, we went for the onside kick. That was kind of weird, but it doesn't really matter. The only thing was, if we stop them from getting a first down, then we can potentially, and probably would, set up, I mean, what would have been
field goal.
A nerve-wracking
field goal.
I thought it was going to happen.
Thank you.
I thought
this is what I remembered. In that moment, I was going, oh my God, the thing that I said on the show that I was like,
Camden
holy
Lewis,
crap.
Yeah. Imagine if it came down to that and then he missed it again. And then in the post-game presser, he's like, I don't know, man. I guess the media really got in my head. I've been listening to this Pac-12podcast. But that didn't happen. And what I was going to say,
here's the thing is that I want him to make every single one of them. I want him to be the greatest kicker we've ever seen, period, because it is in there. The kid can do it, but he's just got a click that happens that I don't know what it is.
Well,
I mean, I do feel what I loved about what I love about Lanning is that I saw Lanning approaching it with a new thought process, and I think it worked.
Yeah, because
Lanning took away the pressure by giving him an unkickable kick, or you know what I mean, like
the 50-yarder.
It's like, don't worry about it, dude. Just go out there and fucking knock the shit out of it.
It was after Washington. I forget who we played after Washington.
But you're right. So it was like, it's like, and then he starts making them again, and then he misses one, and then but then he's back. It's just happening, you know. He's working it through.
On the college level, he's great, honestly.
Yeah.
But what I was
Wouldn't
saying
that have been epic?
It would have been. I mean, that's almost happened.
Yeah.
So we get that amazing last second touchdown. I was like, holy shit, we still got a chance. That final drive, though, we were done. So that defense was so damn tired. It was unfortunate that they stopped them on the previous one.
Yeah,
we just couldn't, or on the second two previous.
The thing that spooked me from the beginning of the game was the consistency at which Washington was able to dominate the clock, and how I was getting more and more nervous that we weren't actually able to do that offensively as effectively. And we started looking like one of those teams that relies on that deep ass pass sometimes a little too desperately, fuck, dude.
Well, I mean, we still were going,
the game, the whole team, it's all of a sudden the whole team as an entity got the jitters, just
dude, that first half, we really were just shaken, man. And I think there were some play calling things. I didn't like how much we were running.
Something we've not done a lot of.
Well, I mean, we've been pretty good at running the ball, but
but we always throw in the short passes.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of also a little frustrating seeing Trayshawn Holden have such success there, and it's this interesting thing. A lot of fans are upset with the I don't like how everything goes for short yardage. I don't like that he's going for a sure 4-yard pickup instead of going for a possible 15 plus pickup, down the field.
Fun plays.
So I get, because especially you see Holden and you're like, man, maybe if we had a couple more big plays like that, we could have won this. But at the same time, the reason why this game is close is because we've got the sure, steady marching down the field, doing what the defense gives you, getting regular first downs. We didn't have that a lot in the first half, but eventually we did. And eventually we made this a game. Eventually we took the lead because of that philosophy, because we threw one turnover. Yeah, that stinks. But
especially when it occurred.
It counted. Yeah. But I want to say that final Husky drive, if we had some more blood in the pass rushing, I mean, even Birch wasn't injured, maybe. If we had better and more depth in the secondary to cover those receivers late in the fourth quarter, then maybe we could have gotten that stop. Maybe we could have gotten the win. These are the things I'll be looking for that hopefully Lanning can improve, which he has shown to been able to. I mean, he brought in a bunch of great talent to, that has made this defense significantly better than last year. I feel like that's safe to say, right? Beavers ain't running on us 19 straight goddamn times,
Right.
We lost to a team that beat every other team and is in the playoffs. We were this close to making the playoffs. And I'm excited for it. I do love where we're going. It's just, this is a brutal sport where the only way you're gonna feel good is making the national championship.
I mean, dude, I was just about to bring up that I feel like I really did buy my own bullshit of 3 natties in a row.
Yeah, that's too much.
Starting right now. I believed it. I felt the energy in the team. And then and then out of the gate, honestly, I really believe just that. For our first play of our first drive, hitting that fucking stripes was just put a bad thing on the field for us.
Bro, all I got to say is what gets you to a kind of team that's like, wow, we've won 3 natties in a row, is seasons like this. And building on seasons.
That's what I thought I watched. I thought I saw a team. I was like, I'm saying
this being the prequel season to the seasons that are like that.
Oh,
because what you do, this is the difference, okay? between us and like even a Washington Huskies. Washington Huskies are still recruiting like crap, honestly. I'm sure it'll get better because of this run. But like right now, they're somewhere like 48th or something like that.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you how you feel about maybe a pivot in the episode since Hythloday won't be able to join us.
Yeah.
I am curious to know what do our odds of actually having a really successful season look like next year when it's a whole new town that we have to move to? Figuratively. I know we're not actually leaving Eugene.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Well,
we got to go to a new school and meet all the new kids.
There's a lot of it's pretty interesting, dude. Next season's gonna be funky. I'll just say that.
Do you want to pivot to that, or should we stay on the game?
No. Let's. I mean, I don't want to talk about this game anymore. It was a good game, sad. But goddamn.
Yeah, it just felt like I kept watching a lot of misreads. I felt like I was watching a Bo Nix. I don't know. Was there a press junket the day before that maybe just fucking got too much?
He's been great. He's been great in the press, actually. Even after this game, he was still. Dude, we played against a really good team and they beat us barely. That's truly what it is.
Apparently, according to the numbers, we're supposed to be better. What I started thinking, honestly, through the game, was like, no matter how comfortable the numbers can make you feel, in knowing that statistically speaking, where we are at in our, bullshit zones or where they're bad at in their bullshit zones, it doesn't matter at the end. When that bell rings, it does not matter.
Exactly. No, it really is, dude. It really is. I think that's the best way to put it.
Because that one was just like something else hit these guys, and I don't know what it was.
The only real numbers that matter at the end of the season, we are 0-2 against the Huskies.
No way, dude.
We're a great season. We're a great team. I'm glad we're 11. I mean, wait, what are we again? We're 11.
Do we have to count 11? Can't we say it's 11-1? That's what it truly is. That's what our season was.
Our record's 11. Well, regular season 11-1, 11-2. But we have the potential to get 12 wins. That's super freaking rare. That is, we've done that only a handful of times ever. So it's still a high benchmark.
I mean, look at where we went from last year to this year. Yeah. Imagine if you keep making progressions in those terms. I mean,
that's what I'm saying, dude.
By jolly.
So, okay.
As
far as next season goes, obviously we're losing some folks. Brandon Dorless going to the NFL. Bo Nix obviously going to the NFL. Troy Franklin likely out. And I believe Tez Johnson. Wow. I kind of forget about Tez Johnson. He may have the possibility.
Secret weapon, dude.
Oh yeah, he's been great. Not so secret weapon even.
Yeah.
And then as far as the transfer portal goes, as of this moment, just like in women's basketball, it's not bad that you have transfers. It's more like which transfers are going out. Are these people who were going to be starters, going to be crucial to your team, and then they leave? Like they were going to earn a bunch of playing time guaranteed, and then they decide, I don't want this culture, I'm leaving, or I'd rather have a different culture. That's a bad sign. If there's people who aren't getting the playing time and they're leaving, that stinks, but it's a much healthier sign. So who do we got here? Well, we got safety Brian Addison entered the transfer portal. Brian Addison, he has been a pretty good player. He's been injured for a lot of it. He played quite a bit in this game because of injuries. Didn't play particularly well. And I'm being honest. I mean, once a duck, always a duck. But I'm being honest. I would love a higher level of talent for the starting position. He was a great backup, but I would love a higher for the starting. And honestly, I'd love higher for the backup too. So, but power to him. Chris Hudson, who was huge last year. He was
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is that attainable for us to get a higher?
Honestly, the way things are looking right now, the way Lanning's recruiting right now, and with what the goal is, yes, It really is. I'll tell you this, when Georgia was at its prime, which I think we're trying to get to Georgia level, when Georgia was in its prime, there was a season where they took, I do believe, 0 transfers into the program. That can be really bad. But when you have a really good when you have a really good team and you're taking in 0 transfers into the program, that just means you're like, no, dude, we're good. Like, instead, we're getting freshmen and we're making them better and better and better, which is the best way to do it. It's
right. You want to grow them shits.
That's always going to beat a transfer coming in.
Right.
But they were seriously like, no, we're good. We've been developing talent. We have amazing players. We don't need any. And then they won a national championship. So that's kind of the goal. But also, if you can get a really good transfer that's better than the shit you got, you go get it, especially if you got landing money in the landing mentality. A couple other people that are
I know a couple of small towns in Texas where I could fucking find you a 12-year-old that could pass a ball.
Oh, sure. I mean, they're looking for him. Yeah. Chris Hudson, who was huge last year, he had that Tez Johnson role, like in the slot, just getting a bunch of big, easy yards, smaller, quicker. He's actually really fantastic. However, the fact that he didn't play, I don't think like at all. Like I barely remember seeing him if I saw him at all. He gone. And power to him. He's going to be great. He's probably going to be a starter. He's probably going to be really good on whatever team he plays. It's a position we're very deep in, so I'm not especially worried, but it would have been nice to have him. Damon David, he didn't play that much. It'd be nice to have him. He's more of a depth person. Ashton Cozart, he was young, talented, didn't play a single snap and left. So and I say Josh Delgado's been on the team. He's another wide receiver, pretty well talented, but our receiving core talent level is much higher. Triquez Bridges, this one does hurt because he was really good depth, has been on the team for a long time, but at the same time, makes sense that he's like, well, if I'm not starting, I'm sorry, dude. I gotta go. I'm good enough to start somewhere, and he's gonna go do that. So these do stink, but they're not actually to be concerned about.
Let me ask you this, because that is an interesting choice to make, right? Like, let's say you're third string and you're like, all right, I got to dip. I at least got to go somewhere. So you end up going to a much smaller school in a much smaller division, let's say, or whatever, right?
Most likely, yeah.
But you end up doing fairly well there.
Yeah.
Do you have the same percentage of getting into the NFL as, say, an Oregon or a Bama or a Georgia that's pedigree NFL material?
There have absolutely been cases like that where someone is just wasted, mismanaged, not used very well, and then someone comes in and uses them very well, and they become an NFL like absolute prospect. That totally happens. Like, look at Joe Burrow. He transferred, I believe, from Ohio State to LSU. And Ohio State was like, yeah, you're not going to be our QB1. You're just not good enough. And then he goes to LSU, and in one season, two, he was still being made fun of for a while. Like, oh, wow.
I mean, shit, that's Bo Nix.
That's Bo Nix. It's exactly Bo Nix, dude. And so people, it can totally happen. And sometimes it's just, I mean, that was more of a lateral move.
Yeah, I was about to say that was pretty lateral.
But people still go into lower divisions and just break some records or to a worse. Sometimes it's not lower division. Sometimes it's a worse team, but you can really sit in that. Like you can be a starter, and for whatever reason, it's just you're there.
Because like I wonder too. It's like because it seems like it really comes down to they just really want to play football. Yeah, like, that's actually the only real interest.
I want to play.
Like, they just want to play. I don't give a shit how it goes.
Exactly. Well, man, let's get into this. One interesting prospect, because we're still very much in the portal season,
right?
And one interesting prospect out there. It's got a lot of rumors. Well, we are straight up looking for a QB, a new QB.
Sure.
I don't know how you feel about this, because obviously Ty Thompson has been very loyal to us, and I think there is some upside, and I am optimistic about Ty Thompson. However, this is my opinion. every single year in college football, if you can get a good QB from the transfer portal, get them. Like, period. Doesn't matter. Even if you have Bo Nix.
Because they can learn the system, right? Is that what you're thinking is?
There may be they may learn the system. They may be a better quarterback, and your other quarterback may be pretty angry and be like, well, I'm going to transfer out then.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's because the other one's better, then it's worth it. Like, you kind of got to be cutthroat in the situation. Or maybe the other guy will prove him. You want competition, you want the best competition, the best person to win the job.
But wouldn't it also be smart to just continue to grow what you have?
Yeah.
Just like you would any other position? Like, what makes quarterback so uniquely available? Is it because it has more of a bird's eye perspective of how the full play is supposed to look?
Well,
it's easier for them to just be dropped in because it's like, this is what this kind of play does.
It's not necessarily that it's easier to be dropped in, but there are systems where it's like someone can easily, I know this system. Oh, I worked with this coach before.
Right.
Bo Nix had worked with our OC before.
Right. Exactly.
So there is that. Sometimes.
So there again, it's just coincidental that the plant was able to continue to be watered by the same farmer.
Yeah, but sometimes they aren't able to grasp it. And you're literally just trying to be like, this guy's just better.
Right. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons. You want competition. I'll tell you, there's 3 top prospects from what I'm hearing, with one specific. The rumor is we basically already got this guy. I'm going to start with the other 2 guys. You actually know them. Dante Moore from UCLA. He was a freshman who basically signed with Oregon, and then he switched over to UCLA. UCLA in like part of game 1, part of game 2, many other games, eventually started him as a freshman, and he looked pretty rough out there, but you couldn't even blame him. It was like Chip Kelly wasn't doing him any favors.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting sacked like crazy. It was all just freaking nuts. And it really hurt his development, honestly. And so he's like, screw this. I'm out of here. So 1 year, he's already looking to transfer. He actually is pretty promising. He's a little rough around the edges, but there's a good quarterback in there. So if you wanted a project,
right,
and someone to sit behind Ty Thompson and learn from him, he could be a good prospect. Number 2.
Ty Thompson's not going to take us to a natty, though, I'd bet.
Yeah.
Right?
This is probably not. You never know. It'd be a nice
I hate talking ill of the people because apparently I get in trouble when I do it. But
other people are saying this. Other people are saying this, and it's you never.
All I say is Kansas Lewis is missing.
Yeah,
untrustworthy.
There you go. Number 2. I mean, this is the theory why you get another quarterback, because
right,
if he can't, maybe this guy can. Is the idea kind of?
Yeah.
Number 2, if you remember playing Wazoo, Cam Ward was basically all they had going on for him, that quarterback of theirs. Pretty good scrambler, really good cannon. Accuracy's a little bit less there, but really athletic and has had some great games. Almost beat us once. Cam Ward of Wazoo, he's already entered the transfer portal. Rumor is he's interested in Oregon. Number 3, however, this is the one people are really circling, and it sounds like it is going to be him, is someone who's already been to 2 schools, actually. He is a veteran. He's from Hawaii. Dylan Gabriel started over at UCF, which was a group of 5 school, then became a Big 12 school. He played very well there. Eventually he did get seriously injured. However, he did fight back, get back to being good. And then he transferred over to Oklahoma. Oklahoma actually had a pretty dang good season, and he did pretty well there. He's a Sooner. He's a Sooner, and like a Sooner, he decided to just pick up and leave and find some new land. Because he entered the transfer portal. Even though he did have a good season, he beat Texas after all. Only lost like twice, I do believe. He is the number 1 rumored target and likely to be our next quarterback. He is a veteran. I actually do think from what I've seen of him, he is very much a Bo Nix type.
Right.
Like, especially
You know-
Bo Nix before he came to Oregon type.
Bro,
You know?
here it is.
Let's hear it.
Here's the new thing that will allow us to become the bad guy for maybe Lanning's entire career.
Dude, as long as we're the kind of bad guy that we're the bad guy because we win Natty, sure.
Right, exactly.
Continue.
Well, yeah.
Continue.
It seems like maybe a trend. We'll wait and see if we get, if we get the senior to come in to play 1 year. Maybe
Every
the
year.
thing that we like to do is buy the most senior player we can find because they have the most experience, drop them in for 1 year because we can afford to do that.
Mhm.
And then just every year, just bring in a new guy to run the system as we grow the actual team.
From your mouth to God's ears, my man. That's
Yeah, he's
basically
like
the
a-
plan.
It's amazing.
Well, and it's interesting because it's like this is another thing. People talking crap about our offense, and sometimes it was frustrating. Sometimes you did want. It's like we have the capability. Why don't we just bomb it?
Right.
The reason why you have this system and why you engrade this system into the QB's head, hopefully our OC sticks around too, so we can add to it and stuff, is this is a system that if you got a veteran quarterback, you can put him in there and be like, make the right read. We don't need you. Because I would say,
Right.
from what I know, I think Dylan Gabriel's arm is a little bit worse than Nix's, but his decision making is pretty great. This is a system where you can put him in there and he can make some great decisions and we can win this freaking thing and we can
Yeah.
still hang
I mean-
60 on anybody.
Yeah, we've proven that those 15-yard and up shots
Mm-hmm.
come at when opportunity strikes because the correct decision just got made.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we're going to keep making correct decisions on, are we going to run it? Or are we going to shoot 4 yards over there, then 3 yards over there? And then
Yeah.
maybe I'll run up the middle. Who the fuck knows what we're
Yeah.
going to do?
He's a very, I would say he's a very, Bo Nix type. And
Okay.
I truly think it's not over for Ty Thompson. It's like, guess what? If you are going to be this quarterback that we need for this crazy ass season that we got coming up, in which we play 13 games instead of 12,
Wow.
because we're playing Hawaii, so we just added that in there.
Yeah.
We're playing Hawaii, baby.
I love that.
Yeah, they're our second favorite team. This rainbow ought to piss off Liberty. But if you're planning on being the team to lead this, or the quarterback to lead this team, then you will have to beat out Dylan Gabriel, who is
Right.
a pretty great quarterback, but maybe you're better. You have been practicing with this team
Yeah.
all last year.
Yeah.
You've been an
You've
Oregon
had field
Duck
time.
for years. Like,
I mean,
this
there
is your
were-
opportunity. Yeah.
Look, the listener can have something to look forward to. I know I'm going to look forward to it. Now that it's all over, in some amount of weeks' time, maybe months' time, Hythloday will be coming in hot with garbage time stats, which we will get to see what kind of work Ty Thompson was able to do
Exactly.
in some of his time on the field this past
Not
season.
gonna lie, I was a little. I mean, I really, really, really want to beat Liberty, so I like that. I love that Bo Nix is there, and I love the dude, But
Mhm.
I was excited to see Ty Thompson. Like, you're it, dude. Like, we got
Yeah, have
another
a great
backup
time out there,
player.
brother.
Yeah, I was pretty excited for that. That being said, go Bo. Aaron, it's been a Hythloday less podcast, but it's been a wonderful podcast, in my opinion.
I agree.
That's right. How about you give me a super specific prediction for the Oregon UTEP basketball game coming up? Huh?
Men's or women's?
This is men.
Okay. Oh, right. Of course. I think we will make 9 of 11 3 points,
Ooh,
and 4 players will get 20 points.
20? And we're
Yeah.
only hitting 9 3-pointers? Damn. So this is going to be like just a dunk contest. I love it.
We're going to shoot 11 3-pointers, but we're going to get 9 of 11.
And
And then
unlucky number, but I like it. My super specific prediction. I mean, I would love if this were to happen. Jackson Shelstad leads the team in scoring.
Wow. Okay.
Hopefully it's in a win, but if he was just like, "Yep, I'm here. I'm the freshman. I'm healthy, and this is my team." That'd be pretty freaking cool to see, honestly.
I agree.
mean, yeah. Basketball is so much more fun when you do have like a Peyton Pritchard type, or just anyone who's like, if it comes down to it, if we're down by 5 and there's a minute and a half left, this ball's in my hands.
Yeah. I'm going to light it up.
About that. There is something wonderful about that. And actually, we do have a couple of players who feel that way, which is pretty nice. Like, yeah, it's a fun team. I'm rooting for them. I certainly hope you beat UTEP. No offense to your sister. This has been the Quack.
I'm sure she wouldn't care.
Yeah, well, there you go. You should watch the game with her.
Yeah, exactly.
This has been the Quack-12 Podcast. We will see you all next week. Quack, quack.
Quack,
We'll make
quack.
our bowl picks. Bowl picks.
Ball picks.
Bye.